Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Today I'm reviewing a book from Globe Law and Business. It's this one here. It's Investing in Distressed Debt in Europe. I'll turn it on its side. It's a TMA handbook for practitioners. The consulting editor is Ignacio Weil Aldana. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. TMA is the Turnaround Management Association, TMA. That's the front, there's the spine, and then there's the back of the book. The reason that I check the abbreviations is that, like everything else, I sometimes get the abbreviation wrong, so I have to check every single time to make sure I've got everything right. There's no index at the back, but what you do have right at the back is about the authors, and this is actually the people who've contributed to this excellent publication. This is actually a leading publication, I think, by Globe Law. It's certainly been given quite a lot of publicity, and I'm delighted that Sean asked me to review it. There's the detail of the book, and then the structure, again, very straightforward. There's a foreword by Lucas Fecker, who is president of TMA Europe. Then there's the preface by the editor, and then you get into the parts. The first one, introduction, investing in distressed debt in Europe, an overview, and then it moves into acquisition of distressed debt and so forth. And then we run through. There are 7 parts in total, ending up with taxation right at the end. And then the foreword is, as I say, by Lucas. There we go, right at the front there. Then we get into the book as a whole. There's the preface is there, which sets out what Ignacio's intention is. And then we get into the book itself. There's a little bit of footnoting, which you can see at the bottom, and it tells you who the authors are for each of the contributions. Some parts of the text have a limited paragraph numbering. As I say, there's a little bit of footnoting, sometimes more than others, but you should be able to find what you're after quite quickly, depending on what you're looking for. There is no index, though, but you do have some figures. For instance, you've got some examples here. This is various types of proceedings that take place when it comes to distressed debt. And you've also got, with each of the ones, you've got a flow chart here, insolvency proceedings. Remember, this is a book primarily about Europe, and therefore one is looking very much at the European model. And I appreciate that I'm reviewing this in 2017, the end of 2016, early 2017, and I appreciate that it is actually at a time when we have really major changes taking place, with our membership of the European Union coming to a close, with the triggering of Article 50 in March, and a timetable being set out by the United Kingdom government now about where we go. Whether that's going to affect, in the short term, any form of investment in dealing with distressed debt in Europe, I don't know. Because the European project, I have to say, in 2017 could well find itself in a lot of difficulty. I'm a pro-European, I voted Remain, and I'm very saddened at the decision of the UK to leave. However, that's been made and that decision is happening. My concern now is to see what else happens within Europe in the next couple of years. And clearly there are a lot of potential problems. That could cause a lot of upheaval within international trade as a whole, and the way in which the structures of businesses operate in the future. But let me talk a little bit just about the TMA group. This is the Turnaround Management Association. Basically trying where possible, which has always been the concept that we have in corporate governance, to turn a company around where you can and make a success of those bits of it you can, because nothing stands still in business, and what is good one day won't be good for another in another day. The same in Europe and the same globally, so we have to look at it on that basis. Now, we gave a headline for our review, a substantial work of debt, as Europe enters a definitive period in its modern financial and political history, and that's where we are at the moment in early 2017. Of course, the points that I make here are clearly set out in the book itself, some of which will be quotes, but the point is the European distressed debt market has grown exponentially during the last few years, experiencing very significant development, and I would think that's going to be on the increase. bearing in mind some of the really serious financial problems that have faced some of the southern countries in the European Union. And of course, many investors are therefore entering the market with the intention of profiting from the opportunities that this market is now offering them. And navigating, of course, the waters of the European distressed debt market has never been an easy task. And it's really because the market itself is far from homogeneous and the legal fragmentation is actually the norm as far as most enterprises are concerned. So I welcome the fact that Globe Law and Business, together with the TMA, have produced this handbook for practitioners on investing in distressed debt in Europe, because it provides an overview of the European distressed debt market as it is today. And we're talking of late 2016, early 2017. It covers debt trading, non-performing loans, direct lending, restructuring and workouts, and is very much, I think, a high-level series of arguments from the contributors as to where we are going at the moment, and it gives advice as well. It analyses the topics I've just mentioned and others from a pan-European viewpoint, and is intended as a practical guide for anybody who is seeking a better understanding of the commercial and legal complexities which are involved in what they rightly describe as a highly fragmented market where different jurisdictions, legislative frameworks and market practices apply. That, of course, has always been, frankly, the problem with the European Union. It's not like the United States of America and the individual states. It's a different type of approach, and you've got a language problem as well. Now, I say that because the approach to the market, frankly, bearing in mind Britain's decision to leave Europe, could well initiate a whole series of reflective considerations, if I can put it that way, of where we stand with our trading partners both within Europe and globally, because the world is changing, and it's changing much more quickly than many of us realise. And I have to say that because I think this book is trying to give some perspective to where we are at the moment. What the editor has done, he's a very experienced lawyer. Now, I do apologise if I don't pronounce his name properly, but Ignacio Weil Aldana, I probably absolutely got that wrong, but he, an excellent lawyer, he comes from the financial and restructuring team in the London offices of the Spanish law firm Cuetra Casas. Again, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it properly, but it's a very important London legal firm, Spanish legal firm based in London. And I'd like to thank him very much for bringing together the contributors. I'm going to call him Ignacio because I hope that's he's got that one right. Probably I haven't. But I'd like to thank him very much. Also, can I say that Goncalves Pereira has acted as the consulting editor for the publication, and also it includes contributions from a large number of leading experts in the field, and I can't name them obviously in this short review. I'd like to conclude what is actually a quick review of this book by saying whether you're a lawyer in private practice or in industry, it's our view that if you are involved in financial advisorships or as an investor, the book itself will aim to give you a comprehensive insight and, yes, advice into all the significant aspects of the European distressed debt market. It does it admirably, and I think anybody who has got concerns, and I think these concerns may well actually multiply, unfortunately, in 2017, this is the book for you. The publication date is 2016. There is the book again. It's a lovely book, this one. It's actually attracted a lot of interest, this book. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to review it. And I had a look at it because I'm not fully conversant with quite a lot of what's in this book, and I learnt a great deal. Developments in the legal frameworks for restructuring. That's in France. Now, as I say, again, you've got a summary at the beginning. You see a structure, house style, then paragraph numbering, and then there is a little bit of footnoting and so forth. This one's been written by, again, 4 people. In fact, no, 5 people in total. but you've got a whole range of very substantial information. It is a high level series of arguments and pieces of advice. So it's not a book for people who are unclear about the way in which insolvency rules work and the way in which the whole issue of debt in Europe is being reviewed and managed at the moment. So I'd like to thank, as I say, Global Law very much indeed, in collaboration with TMA, because they, the Turnaround Management Association are offering us, I think, an important extra piece of advice for the future as we enter a new era for all. So thank you to everybody concerned very much indeed. Bye bye.